Hey guys, so I'm finally back with a new YouTube video. My makeup tutorial today is going to be an autumn inspired look. Before I started, I already had my foundation, concealer, and powder already done, as well as my eyelid primer, and I used That Gal by Benefit. So this season the look isn't really high in like contouring and highlighting, so I just very lightly dusted my Physicians Formula powder onto my cheekbones and slightly on my temples, and really buffed it in. It wasn't supposed to stand out a lot. It was just to slightly accentuate them. I used a Benefit box powder. It's a very plum, really interesting colored blush and bronzer. So I just used a blush brush, my favorite Quo blush brush, to dust that onto my cheekbones and the apples of my cheeks, and I did this on both sides. I also used a Illamasqua cream blush in a very interesting plum color, and the color is Laid. I put it onto my magical ring finger and just kind of pressed that in to the back of my cheekbones. I also used a NARS highlighter, well, an illuminator actually, and the color is Orgasm, of course. I used really tiny bit. I just love the color, so I couldn't really resist. So of course, what makeup look could ever be complete without the Naked Basics palette? For my whole lid, I used Walk of Shame and Foxy, and I just used a flat shader brush and put it everywhere. So once I was happy with that, I took another Urban Decay eyeshadow called Verve and like a big fluffy brush and dusted that also all over my lid, but maybe not as high into my creases I did with Walk of Shame and Foxy. So I did that also on both lids, and it gave it like a really cool metallic color. This eyeshadow is Bare Minerals Sexy Kitten. So I used like a crease brush and I went right in, and I didn't realize how pigmented that it was actually gonna be. So after some patience and a steady hand, I finally managed to work that in with my crease brush and the fluffy brush that I used before. So I managed to get it to the smoky effect that I wanted it to be. The next eyeshadow that I use is a Quo Baked Blush, and it has a really nice glittery color to it, and then the brown color. So I used a MAC fluffy brush and put that onto the crease, and mostly into like the inner corners and just everywhere, really. I don't know what I'm talking about. Next, I used a NYX palette, and I used the color, I don't know, but the name of the palette is C'est La Vie. It's a very light color, and I used it as a highlighter on my brow bone and my inner corners. Next, I took like a really thin brush and I went back to Sex Kitten and I put it under my lash line on both the top and bottom, being really careful not to overdo it, because although I did want it to be slightly smoky, I did not want it to look like I was wearing eyeliner, because this fall you don't see a lot of heavy eyeliners. So although I winged it out slightly, I stayed really careful not to go too far into my eyes. It was really just the very outer corners of each. Next, I brushed up my brows with my fingers, and I went in with my favorite brow powder by Anastasia or Anastasia. So I use the color Ebony because my eyebrows are really dark. And I went in with a Quo angled brush, and with the darkest color I started to fill in my brows at the tip, the darkest, and then work my way gradually and fade it out closer to the beginnings of my eyebrows, because that's also another look for the fall. Next, I used a little tiny gold Sephora eyeliner and lined my lower lash line closer to my inner corners and kind of worked my way in. Next, I curled my eyelashes and used a separating Lancome mascara.
We're gonna do what we want. Remember when they said that what we want can never be done? When all comes falling down, we'll do what we want to. So we'll do what we want to, yeah. Remember when they said that what we want can never be done? Well, look who's laughing now. We'll do what we want to. So we'll do what we want to, yeah.
Once I was done jamming out to Kellen Quinn's sexy voice and Sleeping with Sirens, I went back with another mascara, YSL's Shocking. This mascara is really, really, really black, but it's also difficult to work with because it's very clumping. So I go in with tweezers and very carefully separate the eyelashes that are too stuck together for me to deal with. That's kind of how it ends up looking like. Next, this is kind of the product of the makeup look, and it's a Gosh long-lasting lip marker in color chocolate. It tastes really lovely. It doesn't taste like chocolate, but it does taste really nice. And then for the very center of my lips, I used a Kat Von D lipstick, and I actually don't know the name of it, but it gave it that kind of cool metallic-y look, just like with my eyes. This is how the finished makeup look ended up looking, and I really hope that all of you guys like it, and let me know how it went for you guys.
I ain't got nothing left to give. Nothing